Sarangam Bharavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham
Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Antaniya Sakale Priya Vriti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Giram Yaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam
Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Thank you.
We can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection which fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. Ki Jai.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charanat Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma. Pundamu Isavadana Mate. Pundamu Isavadana Mate. Jara prasade vai evavatori ajai. Jara prasade vai evavatori ajai. Krishna prapti hoy jai hoy te. Krishna prapti hoy jai hoy te. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya. Anakohi homane asha. Om Ane Asha. Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Utama Gati. Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Utama Gati. Jai prasade bhule sarva asha. Jai prasade bhule sarva asha. Chakudhan dilo jai, chami jame Prabhu say. Chakudhan dilo jai, chami jame Prabhu say. Divadar rita prakasito. Divadamrita prakasito. Prema bhakti ja hoite habijabi nasayate. Prema bhakti ja hoite habijabi nasayate. Gai jahala chalito. Gai jahala chalito. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanana Bandhu. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanana Bandhu. Lokana Divana. Lokana Divana. Ha ha Prabhu Kolodoya Demode Padachaya. Ha ha Prabhu Kolodoya Demode Padachaya. Evetai Gusuti Vivana. Evetai Gusuti Vivana. Ha ha Prabhu Kolodoya Demode Padachaya. Kusuti Vivana. Evetai Kusuti Vivana. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Sarasvati Deve Kalavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachajari Shatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Giridhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Giridhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Giridhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Shama Sundara Radha Shama Sundara De. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Narasimha De, Jaya Narasimha De, Jaya Narasimha De, Jaya Narasimha De. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
His Divine Grace, Desi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajika Acharya Stuttar Sutta Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace, the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Adanta Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। समायपुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। दूरमनवेती धाम की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। यमुना माई की जय। गंगा माई की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। All grace to the assembled devotee. All grace to the assembled devotee. All grace to the assembled devotee. All grace to Shri Shri Guru Gauranga.
Hare Krishna. So, this is something Srila Prabhupada said in a lecture. He said, one Christian priest in Boston was astonished to see our devotees. He issued a leaflet saying, "These Hare Krishna boys are our boys. Before they joined this movement, they did not care to see us or come into the church, but now they are mad after God. So this movement is certified by a Christian priest. And actually, you can see the potency of Lord Chaitanya's movement. I am a poor Indian. I came to America with 40 rupees. I had no money to bribe these young people, but now they are mad after God. It is practical. Now if you try to bribe them to leave this movement, they will not go. So what is the intoxication? These boys and girls have given up all intoxication, but now they are intoxicated with Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A draft board officer came to see one of our centers. He said, "What is the facility you have given these boys who have joined the Hare Krishna movement? It must be much easier than the army." Duh. But when he investigated, he saw that these boys and girls are prohibited from engaging in illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. So he concluded that this movement is actually harder than the army. The army does not make these restrictions, which are very, very difficult to follow. But by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these boys and girls are following them. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, lots of things happening this week. There's a lot of service. If you want to do something for Janmashtami, just let us know. We're packing gift bags in the office today and tomorrow. We open at 10, we close around 3, so you can pop in and lend a hand. There's laddu rolling in the kitchen every day from 1 to 3 and 5 to 7. There's also service sign-up sheets at the back of the temple room, and also you can sign up through our newsletter. So look them over, think about where you'd like to do some service for Janmashtami, and plug in for an hour. Anyway, there's outside cleaning, there's prepping to do also. Let me know if you have time to help. And then each evening this week from 7 p.m. until the last artik at 8:50, someone will be sitting in the temple room reading Krishna book in the microphone. So you can come in and listen, or you can just turn on your computer, youtube.com/Alachua Temple, and you can listen to Krishna book being read. Of course, everyone knows Saturday it's Janmashtami. The schedule is printed and it's in the newsletter. It's everywhere. Just a reminder that the children's activities tent is opening at 4 if we have volunteers. If no parents sign up or not enough parents sign up to help, then we won't be able to have the children's tent. But otherwise, you know, it's going to be a very nice event for kids to participate in crafts and face painting and all that stuff. Then the children's costume contest, that's another well-attended event at 5:30 on the stage. Everyone will get a prize, and if your little children like to sort of get in the Janmashtami spirit by dressing up, this is a nice way to do it with them. The Eco Farm will be open from 5 to 7 on Saturday, so you'll walk down there this year. We don't have a tractor to bring you, but just walk, and then the ox carts will be there, and they'll take you on a ride around the Eco Farm, and there'll be different things to learn at each stop along the way. Entertainment goes from 6 till 10 p.m., or maybe even a little later on the main stage. The Radha Krishna Abhishek tent will be over in the Krishna Lila village this year. You'll see it there. And there's a Homa at 7 p.m. to take part in, very auspicious, of course. Vyasa Puja Day is the same schedule as it is every year. And we'll start homages to Srila Prabhupada at 8:15. Just remember, keep your spoken offerings to 5 minutes and focus on Srila Prabhupada. We ask everyone to cook something from home and bring it to be offered to Prabhupada. Come over around 10:30 with that so we can have time to set it up nicely and offer it to him in front of his Vyasa-san. Pushpanjali is 11:45. We'll serve Srila Prabhupada's feast this Sunday at 1. So there won't be a Sunday feast at 5. There'll be the feast served at 1. But we are having a program at 5 o'clock like normal. We just won't serve prasadam. It'll be served at 1 o'clock. And then if you're Prabhupada's disciple and we'd like to serve you at a table, just please make sure you register for that so we know how many people will be coming. Don't forget, we're in a book distribution marathon right now. So we have a goal of 5,000 books, and Sri Vrindavan Prabhu is going to be in the lobby every morning. You can sponsor books. We'll distribute them for you. You can take them with you and distribute them yourself. But this is very pleasing to Srila Prabhupada that the books get sponsored and go out. So we're making every effort to do that. And we are also reminding everyone to please take a subscription to Back to Godhead magazine. This will help keep the magazine in print. And finally, school starts today, Bhaktivedanta Academy and Alachua Learning Academy. So we'd like all the devotees to please make a prayer and a blessing to all the students and all the teachers that they have a safe, happy, healthy, educational year ahead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And one more blessing, it's Guru Prasad Devi Dasi's birthday today. So we want to also wish her a happy, healthy year ahead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Here are the devotees who assisted their spiritual master dressing the deities today. Shishi Radhasham Sundar, Nanda Devi Dasi, Chota Radhashama Sundar, Jayashri Devi Dasi, Sushi Krishna Balaram, Madhuri Gopi Devi Dasi, Chota Krishna Balaram, Gandharvika Devi Dasi, Sri Sri Gornatai, Govinda Sangini Devi Dasi, Chota Gornatai, Ram Govinda Das, Gurus and Lorna Shringadev, Leela Devi Dasi. Pushkar Prabhu is giving class today.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Balaba Giribharadhari Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Balaba Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribrajgachara Jastatara Sata Shri Maresi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Nityalibha Vishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribrajgachara Jastatara Sata Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ki Jai Ananta Gauri Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Giradhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamakun Radha Kundagiri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Navdip Dham Ki New Ramanriti Dham Ki Jagannapuri Dham Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki all glories there some of the devotees glories some of the devotees all glories Shri Guru and Gauranga Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Okay, is chapter 17, right? Is this book marked here? Is this the right book? Number 17 what? 16. Okay, this, I'll find it. They don't put the bookmarks in. Last verse. Okay. It's 37. Whatever it is. 37. Wow, this is okay. It is marked, okay. Vishvashraya sthiti layodbhava Vishvashraya sthiti layodbhava hetoradyo Yogeshwarayar apiduratyaya yogamayo Shemam vidasyati sano bhagavan tyadisha Tyadishas Tatrasmadhiya brahmashena kyani hartha Vishvashraya sthiti layodbhava hetoradyo Yogeshwararapi duratyaya yogamaya Shemam vidhasyati sano bhagavam tyadishas Yatrasmadhiya brahmashena kyani harta Vishvashraya sthiti layodbhava hetoradyo Yogeshwararapi duratyaya yogamaya Kemam vidasyati sano bhagavan tyadishas Yatrasmadhiya vimashena kyani harta Somebody else? Okay, so here we are in the words. Vishvasya of the universe. Yahu. Sthiti. Maintenance. Laya. Destruction. Udbhava. Creation. Hetu. The cause. Adya. The most ancient person. Yoga Ishvarai. By the masters of yoga. Api. Even. Dwaratyaya. Cannot be easily understood. Yogamaya. His Yogamaya potency. Chemam. Good. Vidasyati. Will do. Sa. He. Na. Of us. Bhagavan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tri Adisha. A controller of the three modes of material nature. Tatra. There. Asmadiya. By our. Vimashena. Deliberation. Kyan. What? Iha. On this subject. Arta. Purpose. Translation. My dear sons, the Lord is the controller of the three modes of nature and is responsible for the creation, preservation, and dissolution of the universe. His wonderful creative power, Yoga Maya, cannot be easily understood even by the masters of yoga. That most ancient person, the personality of Godhead, will alone come to our rescue. What purpose can we serve on his behalf by deliberating on this subject? Purport. When something is arranged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one should not be disturbed, even if it appears to be a reverse according to one's calculations. For example, sometimes we see a powerful preacher is killed, or sometimes he is put into difficulty, just as Haridas Thakur was. He was a great devotee who came into the material world to execute the will of the Lord by preaching the Lord's glories. But Haridas was punished at the hands of the Qazi by being beaten in 22 marketplaces. Similarly, Lord Jesus Christ was crucified, and Prahlad Maharaj was put through so many tribulations. The Pandavas, who were direct friends of Krishna, lost their kingdom. Their wife was insulted. They had to undergo many severe tribulations. Seeing all these reverses affect devotees, one should not be disturbed. One should simply understand that in these matters there must be some plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhagavatam's conclusion is that a devotee is never disturbed by such reverses. He accepts even reverse conditions as the grace of the Lord. One who continues to serve the Lord, even in reverse condition, is assured he will go back to Godhead, back to the Vaikuntha planets. Lord Brahma assured the Devas that there was no use in talking about how the disturbing situation of darkness was taking place, since the actual fact was that it was ordered by the Supreme Lord. Brahma knew this because he was a great devotee. It was possible for him to understand the plan of the Lord. Omajnana chamanandasya garanjana shalakaya chakshunamalitanyena tasmai. Yogam karoti vachalam bangalang aite garin yakipatam ham bande shi guru nidanam. Bande hang shi guru shi itabarkamalam shi gurum vaishnavam sta shi rupam sagujatam sahagana raganatam tam tam sajivam. Sadvaitam savadutam parijana sahitam Krishna chaitanya devam Shri Radha Krishna padam sahagana lalita Shri Vishakamitam cha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kipasindubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Vishvasya yashtiti layodbhava hetu rajyo yogeshvara rapiduratya yogamayo Shemam vidasati sano bhagavan tryadishas yatrasmadiya vimashena kyani harto. My dear sons, the Lord is the controller of the three modes of nature and is responsible for the creation, preservation, dissolution of the universe. His wonderful creative power, Yogamaya, cannot be easily understood even by the masters of yoga. That most ancient person, the personality of Godhead, will alone come to our rescue. What purpose can we serve on his behalf by deliberating on the subject? So this is the final verse here in this chapter. And it's a longer one. So here the words are Vishvasya of the universe. He's the maintainer, and he's Tradisha. There's a verse earlier, I believe, in third canto, Tradisha, mentions this Tradisha, the Lord of threes. Besides the modes of nature, he's also Lord of the Vishnus and various types of threes. He's the Lord, Ishvara, Isha. Ishvasya stiti layod bhava hetur asya, or hetur asya stit yud bhava. When we get to the 11th canto, there's a verse with the similar words. When King Nimi was speaking with the Nava-Yogendras, of course, they're the Yogendras, means they're the kings of yoga. And, of course, Yogi, Yogeshvara, Kilagaro, Bhagavan, Namaste. There are many Yogeshvaras, but Kunti Devi specifically points out that Krishna is the supreme Yogeshvara. In her final prayer, she talks about the Yogeshvara Kilagaro. So as Yogeshvara, he's also Kilagaro. Here, Lord Brahma is taking the position of Guru, speaking. But above that, Adi Deva, the Adi Guru, Krishna, Bhagavatam, so many places, continually, this is given that Krishna is the Yogeshvara, Partha Danodara, the last verse of the Gita describes that Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra, wherever there's the supreme yogi and Arjuna, then there will always be this opulence and extraordinary qualities. He's Yogeshvara Kilagaro. So the things mentioned here in the verse also, he cannot be easily understood. Duratya Yoga Maya, Mama Maya Duratyaya. Duratyaya is difficult. Durgam Patas, this Durga, we can always think of Durga. Or if we can think of Krishna, we can think of Durga. If we think of Durga, we'll think of Krishna. Wherever seeing Maya, which is difficult to overcome, then we can think, well, this is Krishna is presenting this. So Lord Brahma is pointing this out also. What can we do? This is a kind of rhetorical. What would we do? Vimashami. The word is used here. Tatra Vimashena. So, Shrimamidina. This word is used to consider so many things. So we're considering throughout the material world, the darkness is overcome here. Probably we don't have, we can see darkness every night, but this type of darkness, very heavy that the Devas are experiencing. Everybody's experiencing this incredible darkness. And so he's trying to alleviate their anxiety, saying, look, this darkness, but Krishna is taking care of everything. So, because we get perplexed, even Prabhupada sometimes use the word becoming perplexed, that the demoniac power, even Krishna, we read that in the 10th canto, how sometimes that Krishna's own father was coming before, and Krishna was seemingly perplexed by this material energy being so powerful, though this material energy. Vedanti Vishvam Kavyosmanashvaram. This Vishvam that in the 5th canto prayers, the residents of Janadweep. Is it Janadweep? Yeah? What? Bhadrashva, he knows. Those residents, chapter 18, they had that, where's Vishvam. What did I just say? Huh? Vedanti Vishvam Kavyasvanashvaram. Even the greatest kavis. Vedanti Vishvam Kavyasvanashvaram. They speak, Vedanti. They realize how this material world is, and material energy is so powerful. Whether it's darkness, sometimes there may be some other manifestation, heavy manifestation in the material world, illusory energy. In this case, it was this heavy darkness that didn't know the birth of these Aranyaksha and Yakashipu was happening. And so, Vedanti Vishvam Kavyasma Nashvaram means that they, Nashvaram, they see the eventual, continual, there's 4 types of annihilation given in 12th canto. All these types of annihilation are going on. And not only they see it, but they speak about it, and they even realize it. Vedanti Vishvam Kavyasma Nashvaram. Pashanti Chadyatma Vido Vipaschita. They see it. Pashanti Chadyatma Vido Vipaschita. They're Vipaschita. Even then, the prayer says, they are bewildered. What is it? Tatapi Muhyanti. What? Yes, Tatapi Muhyanti. What? Sit closer. Anyway. They're saying, Tavajamaya, Suvishmitam Krityamajam Natosmitam. Therefore, the prayer says, so many great prayers, right? So, with that one, they're all like jewels, they're like mansions. Jiva Goswami describes Rupa Goswami's slokas to be like mansion. A mansion, we don't have mansion, usually I live in a little mobile home. But let's say you have a mansion, big mansion with 100 rooms, and what are you going to do in there? You go from room to room, and it's very opulent. So Jiva Goswami says these shlokas are like mansions you can wander in and never, and if you get lost in a mundane mansion, then you're in trouble. But if you get lost in the shlokas of Bhagavatam and Rupa Goswami, then this is no trouble. This is very amazing. So these residents in Bhadrashva, they are speaking this prayer is such an amazing thing that even these great sages, Tatapi Muhyanti Tavajamaya, Suvishmitam Krishna, we offer respects even to the illusory, that person who's the source of this illusory, this illusory energy is going on, this darkness is going on. So Lord Brahma, his job is to keep up the spirits of these devas. He's the leader. So he's speaking like this and pacifying them. What about your thinking? I saw that recently again. Wonderful thing. Vishwanath Chakravarti is speaking so many things, but it's amazing. He says just like our mantras or Maha Mantra, you could analyze it logically or some way, but what will it do, Like if you have a beautiful, he said, like a jewel or any great opulent thing. I could describe to you, this jewel is and it is wonderful, the description of a jewel. But if you see the jewel, then you understand, oh yes. Or like milk, you can talk for a long time telling people who've never had milk. You get some really great, perfect milk from, say, local cows, devotees' cows, and you drink it, and wonderful. Or you can get some other simulated milk, or even like soy milk or something. But how can you describe the wonder? It's liquid religiosity. So you must taste, or a mango, anything like that. Mango is very nice, golden, and sometimes, I know in Hawaii we have so many mangoes, they're like dropping off the trees onto the highway sometimes and driving like that, or the other fruits, and you're squishing them. It's like guavas or something like that. One devotee had a farm with guavas and bananas. There was so much of it that it was just dropping, and you could just floating around. You can barely, it was like the spiritual world. So you can try to describe, the smell of the guava. If you smell the guava, you taste the milk. So similarly, we're tasting the Bhagavatam. Pibanti ye Bhagavad. Therefore it says, you drinking through the ears. Panena te deva. Oftentimes it says to drink it, to relish it. It's not just like a mundane thing, but it's so wonderful. So every shloka here is a new shloka for us, for me. In this life, we could not relish all the shlokas of Bhagavatam. We might try for a long time. Vimame rajangsi, looks like it's described. Shesho dunapi samavashati nashaparam. The glories of Krishna are being relished by Shesha, and since time immemorial, and he's still with many, many mouths, he cannot speak and glorify. He's a manifestation of Balaram, and he cannot glorify. He's unlimited. Shinvato nashti memad vayam tu navatripyama utamashlokuya. Yachinvatam. Svadu means taste it. You can just taste it. Step after step, day after day, which simply those who are advanced, like just describing here, Thakur Haridas. I just quickly read through that story because it's mentioned in Chaitanya Bhagavat, 16th chapter of Adi Lila in Chaitanya Bhagavat. So the Thakur Haridas he's a Muslim, or generally the word is used there, mlecha. Now, I don't know if the Muslims like that word. I mean, I'm not that familiar with there. But some of those guys, they didn't like this Haridas. I mean, they thought, he's such an advanced person. They just as he folded, just Haridas was an amazing. But they were very upset, and especially this Kazi. Kazi was a really vicious. Even the king said, this Kazi is really bad. He's going to beat you if you don't stop chanting. You've taken up this Hindu religion. You were born in a very nice. You were my brother. The king was speaking with Haridas. He was seeing his very beautiful Haridas, long arms, Janalambito. His arms were like Chaitanya were coming down, and he had all transcendental features. In fact, it says he had all mystic powers, Thakur Haridas. He's sometimes called Brahma Haridas. He's equal to Lord Brahma, and sometimes a manifestation of Prahlad. Who's counting how many glories there are of Thakur Haridas? So the king was talking with Haridas. He said, "What? You are such a high family of course, for us, Muslim means they're eating meat, disgusting. But they're thinking it's a very high thing. So for us, it's incalculable. But still, they're saying when Haridas Thakur was very equiminded, he's speaking with him like a brother. He said, my brother, if you just take this kalma, speak the Quran a few words, and this Qazi will leave you alone. So what is the use? Because he's going to beat you or arrest you, and ultimately you're going to have to speak or give it up. So my advice is, and the king was actually being a little friendly. Hussein, I don't know which king, but I think it's it. So probably before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time. Well, Haridas said, but no, this God, he's the one God for everybody, whether Muslim, Hindu. So sometimes a Hindu can convert to become Muslim, even a Brahmana. So why? So karma, pala, he was quoting so many shlokas. You can imagine Thakur Haridas was known as a Mahavidvan. He wasn't simply chanting, but he was very learned. You read some of the shlokas, Namaikam Yasavachishma. He was quoting so many shlokas in the assembly of Madhya all the time. Besides chanting 3 lakhs, he was manifestation of all the shastras, so Sarva Shastra, yeah. So he was preaching to the king, and the king was saying, Haridas Thakur finally said, listen, they locked him up. So when he was put into jail, there were already many respectable persons. This is, not a new thing. It says specifically, there were respectable persons in the jail, not just crooks and dacoits and gundas. And they were very happy to receive Thakur Haridas in the jail because they'd heard about him or they may have seen him before, but they were like, oh my God, Thakur Haridas in the jail. And some of them were able to go from one part of the jail to another just to get his darshan. So when they all gathered around, Thakur Haridas said some famous thing. Jaina, Jaina, Tako, Jaina, Rupe. He said, you just stay the way you are. And they were, what do you mean? Stay in jail? You're in jail, We're not supposed to be in jail. He said, no, don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I mean, just now, you've given up all sense gratification. Maybe forcefully you're in jail, but you should keep this mentality, give up sense gratification. Anyway, Thakur Haridas, he said to the Qazi, to the king, ultimately he said, Kande Kande, Jaina Deho, Jai Jari Pran. You can cut my body to pieces, because he was ordered. The king left it up to the Qazi that this guy can't be, the Qazi said, he seemed, they were all, the king and others were there, they were like really overwhelmed by Haridas Thakur. They were like, oh, well, I don't know, this Thakur Haridas, he's pretty amazing, But this Qazi, he was such a rascal, total demon. He demanded that Baish Bajar, that the Haridas will be dragged, what is that place called? Called that one area, Ambuya something. There are 22 marketplaces, take him to all. Usually someone would die immediately after being beaten in one or two marketplaces, finished, and throw him in the Ganga or whatever they do with you, and that's all, or whatever. It was considered inauspicious to be thrown in the Ganga, actually. They would put them on the ground, or what they would do, So, but Thakur Haridas was taken out. He said, you can beat me. Tabu ami badane na harinam. I won't give up. Cut my body to pieces. Kanda kanda deha. He said. Tabu ami badane ami chari harina. I will not stop chanting. You can do what you want. So, okay. So the guards were told to take him and beat him extra hard, like that. Extra, not just, have bamboo, I don't know, they beat you with bamboo. It's not, just thinking of it is like, So, not very pleasant. But so Thakur Haridas was taken, and sometimes the people were seeing, oh, look, they were lying down, begging these demons. Some of them had money. Please, take money, leave him, please, leave him, like that. They were so upset, the sadhus, ordinary persons, crying and rolling and trying to stop this. And there was a film made, ISKCON film, made by Haridas. Haridas was a filmmaker, devotee, Bengali. I forgot the details of the film. I'm sure it would never show the exact horrible, how badly he was beaten. Later Mahaprabhu revealed he had taken this beating. So ultimately, these rascals who were beating Thakur Haridas, they became very worried and upset, because after they took him like 15 markets, 20 markets, 22 markets, that's it. Every marketplace in the whole district. So Thakur Haridas said, I see that he was still smiling. And saying, I see that you were very upset. You seem to be in anxiety. They told the guards. They said, yes, because we'll be killed. We cannot kill you. It's okay. So he stopped breathing and appeared to be dead. So then they came to lift him up. They couldn't lift him. It was like, they just couldn't lift him. Imagine these big guards. It's like, oh. And they checked his breathing. He was dead. They couldn't lift him to put him in the Ganga. So finally he submitted, and they threw him in the Ganga, and he just swam away. So don't try this at home. But these are our role models, like Thakur Haridas. Another thing mentioned is, of course, Prahlad's mentioned. Prahlad Maharaj. All the tortures that he went through, and the Pandavas are mentioned. Yuyam naloke bataburi bhaga. There's one verse given twice in Bhagavatam, 7th canto. In 10th chapter, again, it's given in the 15th chapter, where Narad Muni was encouraging the Pandavas, after hearing all about Prahlad Maharaj, especially this very end of the 7th canto, then they might have been feeling like, wow, we're not so, this Prahlad Maharaj is so great. He said, look, you young no look, but the Bodhi Bhaga, the Krishna himself, Muneo Bhayanti, all the great sages come to your house. You Pandavas are Bodhi Bhaga, you're so fortunate. You don't even realize how fortunate. Krishna is here acting as sometimes as your servant, as your guru. He's your friend and your relative, all this. So he was encouraging these Pandavas, Yuyang Loke, Guram Manushalingam, Guram Param Brahma Manushalingam. Krishna as in the form of a Manushalingam, the form of a human being. He is staying in your house. All the sages are coming from all over the universe. Those sages themselves can purify. Punana Bhyanti. They can purify the whole world. And they're coming to your house. When we see a shloka given twice, and again by Narad Muni twice, then, it's a great... But these Pandavas, they also suffered. We can hear about it when they came to see Bhishma Dev Yudhishthira, especially in anxiety. And Bhishma Dev, Nanda Suti saying, Aho kashtam, aho nyayam. Panda, what is it? Yadyuyam dharmanandana. Aho kashtam. You suffered so much. Jivitum. You shouldn't have even lived through all this suffering. It was so devastating. How Dhritarashtra and his son especially put through so many tortures. And that's described in detail by Kunti Devi. Vishan Mahagne Purusha. What is it? Purushara. The Kunti Devi has so many prayers, 30. So in the beginning, she says, Namashe Purusham Tvajam Ishvaram Prakate Param. She's praising Krishna. But in that prayer, Vishan, she enumerates all Purushara, Vishan Mahagne, that how we were given over to man-eaters. Purushara means, and Asat Sabaya, put into the assembly of rascals, Duryodhan. So she's enumerating in her prayers. And Bhishma Dev, I know when I first joined, we had first canto only, and we were told by the authorities, the temple president, Prabhupada said to memorize Kunti's prayers, memorize Bhishma's prayers. So how many people have memorized? So here we are 55 years later, but even in the first canon we have all this unlimited nectar. Kshemam navindanti, this word is here, kshemam navindanti, binayararpanam. In Sukadev's prayers, in the second canon, he described tapasvino, danaparaya sasvino. We've talked about this whole list. But this word is used, kshemam navindanti binayararpanam. You cannot get any good even if you're a tapasvi, even if you're a big Gyani Manasvino. You can speak so many mantras. Sometimes we see, nowadays all the videos are coming on your phone immediately, you see. And people are saying, and then they're giving courses how to chant mantras. It's like, wow, it sounds really good. But then you think, well, when are they going to chant Hare Krishna? They're chanting so many mantras, but so that's not there many times. But at least they're getting a little closer. They're chanting so many Maha Mantra. Namaikam Yashavachi Smarana. This is one of the prayers from Padma Purana that Haridas Thakur was speaking also. Namaikam, just that one chanting of the holy name. Aikam, Nama Aikam. Namaikam Yashavachi. If it Smarana Patam Shrotramalam, it enters the ears, it's on the mouth. Shudamba Shudavaranam. Even if it's impure. Even if it's broken, not spoken exactly right, it's still wonderful. But then he says, they have, what does it say? In the final couple of lines, he describes that, but, pashanda, if one is an offender, or loba pashanda madhye, loba means he's still full of greed, shigram evatra vipra. It won't happen that fast. We see in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, so many, in the first few verses, it tells us, sadyo hritya varujate, immediately it can happen. So if one is coming to the Paramahansa stage, it can happen immediately. But if one maintains so many namabhas, aparad, abaso chapyati, still they can be purified. by the chanting of Hare Krishna. So Thakur Haridas was promulgating, chanting Hare Krishna mainly. And after that, coming out of the river and people saw Haridas Thakur, wow. They were saying, look, we're going to beat you, and if you're really such a great person, then we'll see. Of course, they were thinking, there's no way this guy's going to die after 2 marketplaces. No. Thakur Haridas was beaten all Baish Bajar, all 22 marketplaces still. So Bhishma Dev, when he was advising the Pandavas and is lying on the bed of arrows, there's some very nice instructions there. I have to admit, I didn't memorize all of them. He has many instructions in the Mahabharata, and we only get a few in the Bhagavatam. Bhakti Avesha Manoyam. When there's absorbed, he's speaking to the Pandavas. You didn't deserve to even live. There was so much suffering somehow because you were protected by Vipra, Dharma Vipra Achyuta. Ashraya, because you took shelter of all the Dharma and the Shastras and the Brahmanas. So therefore you were able to live, especially Yudhishthira. And just see, you had Bhima and Arjuna, the great warriors. Still, somehow or other, you suffered. Kunti Devi, she enumerates it all. Finally, Vipadak Santu Takshashva Tatat. All those miseries, let them come again. Vipada. There's Vipada Padam Yad Vipadam Natesham. And Prabhupada's invoking here at the end of the purport famous shloka, which Tatenu Kampam Sushimikshamano Punjana Vatmakatam Vipakam. How does it go? Huh? Hid Vagvapu Bir Vidadana Namaste Jivete Yo Bhakti Mukti Pade. Famous verse that Sarvabhauma wanted to change it. Such a great verse, but Sarvabhauma wanted to change it. Mukti Pade to Bhakti Pade. He probably could, but he wasn't quite that powerful. How can you change? It's just like when Prabhupada was told by the pundits from the Vallabha Sampradaya that Prabhupada should change the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yeah, there were 2 letters written because they, somehow or other, BTG had printed the pastime of Balabha Bhatt with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and how Balabha Bhatt was called a duck among swans and a prostitute, Swamina Manile, Beshir, that if you don't accept, anyway, this long story, but they read that in BTG, and then Prabhupada kind of chastised the devotee. He said, don't put that. Especially it became something that Sumati Morarji, she had financed Prabhupada, very friendly with Prabhupada, great supporter, but she didn't like it either. So this whole pastime that Mahaprabhu called Balabha Bhatt, Balabha is their acharya. He's a great acharya. But still, Mahaprabhu was not afraid or not hesitant to call him someone who doesn't accept the Swami, of course, in Vedic culture. Swami means husband. And there's a play on words by Mahaprabhu, wonderful play on words. So anyway, the letter came to Prabhupada. One letter was so offensive that I think Giriraj, whoever got the letter, they threw it, just tossed it away. There were 2 letters from 2 acharyas. And one of the letters was given to Prabhupada. And that letter, this acharya was demanding that Prabhupada change the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Prabhupada said, how I can change what Kaviraj Goswami has written 500 years ago is not going to happen. Prabhupada is very diplomatic, always. He said, I'm sorry, this is in a Mahaprabhu and Balabha, they were in a joking mood, and great friends, so you should take it like that. Why? Don't become upset. So don't think you can change the Shastras, or even Sarvabhauma, as great as he was, he could not change that. Mukti Pade. Krishna has different names. So we can get this mood from reading the mood of how the Pandavas suffered and how Kunti spoke her prayers, that let those Vipadak come again and again. We don't mind. Vipada Santu Tatra Tatra Jagad Bhavato Darshanam, because we'll get the darshan if we. So Brahmaji is also expecting the darshan now. And they will get darshan of Nrsingadev, Varaha. Of course, it must take some time. It must take a long time in between. We have no calculation how long it takes, but still they'll be getting the darshan of these avatars. I like the way Prabhupada says, he assured the demigods that there was no use in talking about how the disturbing situation of darkness was taking place, since the actual fact, it was ordered by the Supreme Lord. It cannot be Adyo Narayana Sakshat Bhagavan. It's one of the prayers also that, how's that go? Eshavai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puma. Then the last line, Mohayan. This is Bhishma Deva in this arrow bed. Never was it? What does he say? That last line? Mohaya. He is deluding everybody with his mystic power. Huh? Mohaya Mayam Lokan. Gudas Charity. He's moving among the Vishnus and deluding. Just imagine he's Krishna himself, and many times they're in this yoga maya thinking, oh, Saketi matva prashabam niruktam. How Krishna is speaking.
Maybe you can ask Krishna how he feels hearing about his own leader.
I can ask?
Yeah.
You can ask.
I always wonder.
That's described by Arjuna in so many places. Manyaseri tatchakyam. If you think I can see your mystic, great, powerful form, then please give me divyam dadami te chakshu pashyame yogam aishvaram. If I'm able to buy your yogam aishvaram, you can give me divine eyes I can see. And this is very nice expose of Krishna's mystic power in the 11th chapter of the Gita. We have some recording of Prabhupada chanting Bhagavad Gita, and he gets up to 11:29. If anyone can say what's 11:29, right now I'm forgetting. But Prabhupada was apparently he chanted the whole thing. It was lost. We don't know. I asked Guru Das because he was there, and Guru Das, what happened after 11:29? I was really frustrated, and he said, I thought he chanted the whole thing. We don't know if he chanted the whole thing, it was gone. But still, doesn't stop us from reading Bhagavad Gita. In fact, anyone who hears Gita, who repeats and hears the conversation, just like Sanjaya said, my hairs, Vishmayo, I'm so amazed my hairs are standing. If I hear this conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, my samsmritya, when I just think of it, so one doesn't have to be there, no. Same thing, Haridas Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Vrindavan Das, they're saying, if one hears about this pastime of Thakur Haridas and speak any of these pastimes, Prahlad Maharaj, Pandavas, again and again we're relishing, years and years, decades and decades, never tire. And it's given just perfectly, all the prayers. Okay, so we can continue that. Order is there from Prabhupada. Even first canto, you memorize. I remember Hridayananda was memorizing first canto, and he got a letter. I think he was in Houston. I know he told it to me in Houston in 71. He told us that he got a letter. He told Prabhupada he was memorizing the first canto. And so Prabhupada wrote him back, thank you very much. So you want to please Prabhupada and memorize the first canto, second canto. When you're finished, you're tired, and memorize. I remember Gopi Pranadana was memorizing first canto, second canto, third. I don't know how far he got. So it's possible if your brain is Kova Kadamba Katiba Kadeti. Even Brahmaji, in his prayer in the 10th canto, 14th chapter, there's so many prayers. 40, right? We decided there's 40, exactly. So one of them, Koveti Bhuma, Yogeshvaro Tir Bhagavan. How does it go? Bhavatas Trilokyam. No, he's the Lord of the three lokas beside Adishvara. So Brahmaji is saying, within the three worlds, we don't know how these pastimes, where they're going on. Kava, Kadamba, how many there are. Where, when, how. There's no end. Koveti Bhuman. Bhuman means Krishna, the greatest. We have no conception. Koveti Bhuman Bhagavan. Yogeshvaro Tir. What is it? Trilokyam. That Faba Kadamba Katiba Kadeti Vistaryan Kridisi Yoga Maya. This Yoga Maya is going on. There's no calculation. Brahmaji is most intelligent person within the universe. He cannot conceive Janante Vijanantu Kimbahukja. Others they can maybe try to speculate, just like it's Brahma's telling them, don't bother. Says the same similar thing in his prayers. Janante Janantu. Let them say. How funny is that? Brahma saying, I don't know. Kimbahukjaname Prabho, Manaso Vapaso, Vacho, by my words, body, mind, any intelligence, I cannot calculate. What's the last line? Vaibhavan Tavagotra is beyond my power, my power to understand. Either body, mind, words, no way. Okay, so any comments, questions?
Very nice. So Yudhishthira was lamenting. It's either to Narada or to Gopakumara. He said, I am afraid that if people were to see our sufferings, they would lose faith in our Lord Krishna.
Yeah, that's probably the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, I think.
Was that to Narada or to
yeah, Brihad Bhagavatamrita. I mean, Mukunda can say. Yeah, I remember. More comments, Mukunda? G? What?
Why am I randomly commenting? No, very nice class. I also remember one sannyasi was visiting. Was it the brother of Srila Radha Govind Maharaj who was here sometime?
Radha Raman?
Yeah, he came?
Yeah.
Because I was listening online. So he did make a very good point about this chapter. The chapter's come to a close now. But he mentioned very nicely, because Narasingha Prahalad Charit is really so expansive. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to speak this charit even at Radha Kund. And it's explained that Gadadhar Pandit at Tota Gopinath would speak this katha to Mahaprabhu and his associates, because in this charit there's so much prem. Of course, Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to establish prem for Krishna. And in this charit there's so much prem, and he went on to describe the discussion between Lord Narayan and the four Kumaras. And he mentioned there how Bhagavan consistently referred to Jai and Vijay as mine. And he said, and I'm giving respect to the Brahmins, but he referred to Jai and Vijay as mine. Rupa Goswami gave the first definition of prem, samyak masranito swanto mamita tu sankita. So he mentions that the first real establishment of prem is mamata towards that person. So Narayan was showing so much mamata towards Jai and Vijay. So really this whole Leela is so important, because really the Leela of Jai and Vijay's descent is to teach really what is prem. And the Acharyas say if you don't catch that here, you won't catch it in the Rasa Panchadhyaya. Understand? So if you don't understand love here, you'll never, This is written by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that if you don't understand prem, in this Narsingha Prahalad Charit, then you will not understand it in Ras Panchadhyaya.
Prema Gadgadaya Vacha Tanyasta
Yes.
Hridayakshana.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's, so yeah, sometimes it's minimized that, let's jump only to the Panchadhyaya and all that, but yes, we should relish it, of course, but Mahaprabhu himself was hearing this pastime hundreds of times.
So in the purport, it mentioned so many persecutions, but it gives the direction that we should not be disturbed by it. So that seems so extremely difficult to be able to follow. This is like a small example, but when Prabhupada saw people coming around in Mayapur, after the devotees had eaten, they were so hungry that they would take the leaf plates and they would lick the plates. So immediately Prabhupada, made sure that people were fed from, a certain circumference, 10 miles, 15 miles. So sometimes, how can you not be disturbed when you see things that are terrible going on? And aren't we supposed to do what we can to counteract it? And then if we can't, we just, we chant knowing that's...
Well, Brahma's doing something, he's saying, Sarvam Kalakatam Manye, just like Bhishma Dev's prayer, where he's saying, we cannot, how does that verse go? Before he's gone. We cannot calculate is the plan of the Lord. Even the greatest Devas are bewildered, but it doesn't mean that it's raining, we don't use the umbrella. So, but we're still just talking about it, he said, that's not just follow let Krishna do his thing. That just like clouds are carried by the air, Ganavali, yeah. So, what is that? That line? Huh? No, the one that is the plan of the Lord. Na Yashya Karachidra Janpuman Vedaveditsitan Yad Vijagasa. Even the greatest Gyanis are trying to figure out the plan. They cannot figure it out. Muhyantiya Surya, the Devas. So he's also saying, but he's pacifying. He's not just doing nothing. Prahlad Maharaj wasn't doing nothing. He was instructing all his schoolmates. Alachua Hare was preaching, he was chanting. So there's a difference between being disturbed. Being disturbed, don't be disturbed. What does it mean? Yasman lo vijate loko lokahana vijate hashamasha. That whole last half of the 12th chapter of the Gita describes Bhaktiman, that Samepriya, that one who's dear to Krishna. He doesn't get disturbed, but he's also adveshta sarvabhutam, maitra. He's friendly, merciful. So we don't stop being merciful, but at the same time, sit down. Prabhupada said sometimes we're disturbed. How these demons. Late Lord Chaitanya himself, he was asking Thakur Haridas, Kon, we have Sabar Kon. When I see these cow killers go, killers of brahmanas, and there was going on big time at that time. Mahaprabhu, he was saying, I'm disturbed. I'm feeling anxiety. So Thakur Haridas said, don't feel anxiety. The kirtan is going on unlimitedly. Even the pratidvani, when there's the echo of the kirtan, that's not an echo, but actually that's the kirtan of the non-moving. What to speak of? He said, Dangstri, even the Muslim, he gave so many things. Damstri, Damstra, Hatam, Locho, Harameti Puna Puna. That even the mlechers crying, they have some term, I guess they say, Haram, Haram. It means, oh no, I'm getting killed. So a guy was getting killed by a Dangstra, by the horn of a boar. Apparently it's been going on for a long time. But he was chanting Hara. So Jiva Goswami is giving us that even if, so this chanting is going on, we don't stop it. It's disturbing. But someone who doesn't take advantage, at the end of when Thakur Haridas was being enticed by Maya Devi personified, So one of the last verses there, very wonderful. Evanyaya je nabashi, say jeev char. Someone who doesn't take advantage of this inundation of prema that's going on during Mahaprabhu's time, especially. Evanyaya means a flood. Evanyaya je nabashi. He can at least float, even if he doesn't swim and dive. If he at least floats in it, then say jeev char. He's considered very fallen. Then koti kalpi, nahika nishtar. Koti kalpi, something nahika nishtar. He will not get delivered for koti kalpi, hundreds and millions of kalpas. That's pretty heavy duty when you read that. It's Kaviraj Goswami giving us a little friendly reminder.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for a wonderful class again. When these devotees are in trouble and anxiety, you get their heartfelt prayer, which really reveal a lot about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like Draupadi, she when she called on Govinda, you get her heartfelt prayer. And even Prahlad, when he was being tortured, he was praying continuously. So when devotees are put in difficulty, it's not like they're just put in difficulty to show other people that that these are the desires of the Lord, but also that you see their great devotion. You see the prayers when they pray in the situation like that. Queen Kunti, you see that their real understanding of who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is.
Yes, there's an exact Bengali verse. What does it say? The Mukunda knows it, Pundarik knows. That actually Paramananda Sukh, the devotee appears to be in duk, great misery, but actually he's experienced the good. What's the first word? Yadi Vaishnavera Duk. Yadi? One sees external, bahya, that he's suffering, but actually, what's the last line? Janiya hoy nishchoy. Nishchoy means certainly, Paramananda Sukh. He's experiencing the highest. I mean, people said to Prabhupada sometimes, "Oh, Prabhupada, you look kind of sad in this photograph." Prabhupada said, "No, I was very ecstatic there." So you can't. In Amsterdam?
3 days he was in a way. Then they asked him. Prabhupada said, "I'm so happy, I'm trying to control. It looks like..."
Prabhupada was in the Bowery, even in the early days, even in Bowery, he was telling Lower East Side, and there was many bums lying around, drunkards, and winter, and it looks like miserable. Prabhupada said, but actually, he said, you see this? To you it looks very bad, but for me it is Goloka. And Prabhupada was enduring. I mean, I was there for 7 months. Prabhupada, for the last 3 months minimum, gradually Prabhupada was becoming more and more. I remember how shocked we were. Prabhupada came back from England, and he became like just a living skeleton. He came through the back gate right near his room, and we're watching, and I was like, oh. People were flipped out. He had lost, he was already thin when he left, and then he lost another 20 pounds. I mean, and he stayed like that for months, weeks. And the different doctors said, we never see anyone would tolerate this type of, everyone dies way before this time. So probably was like a great yogi, tolerating that, right up to the last second. So.
I have one more comment. This movie just came out, this Narasingha movie.
I heard of it.
Yeah. Anyhow, I went to see it. All the devotees were there. And I couldn't understand why Krishna had to make Jai and Vijay come here so they could fight. But when I saw the movie, it was a tremendous fight. This might be Maya, but it was a tremendous fight, and I had to see why he had to use his servant as.
Well, I'm glad that people like the movie. Can we have the mic back?
Because they were so strong, they were trained by Sukracharya and they had all these mystic powers. And the, huh? Right, and that's this whole thing, like they're saying they're spending so much time on this giant Vijay coming and Krishna relationship, but even in the fight you could see, I don't know, you could feel how Krishna really care about them, but the fight was tremendous. It was, I mean, he couldn't fight with an ordinary,
Yeah,
person.
were there any prayers in there? Prahlad's prayers or anything?
Oh, Prahlad was fantastic. I mean, Prahlad, the person.
Who's handling the mic? That person left.
Oh.
Take up the job of the microphone passer, please. Go get the mic. Oh, please get the mic. Okay.
Did you want to say something?
Yeah, we have other people talking. Okay.
Well, back to what Mukunda Prabhu was saying, he mentioned Radharaman Maharaj and how he said something so sweet. And I remembered about Radha Govinda Maharaj.
Who Maharaj?
Radha Govinda.
Okay.
Radha Govinda Maharaj, his brother.
Yeah.
And he, the prayer you were quoting of Bhishma Dev,
Yeah.
Esha hi Bhagavan Sakshat. So very sweetly he mentioned the word Esha, just this one word, and then he said Esha. He said, so Bhishma Dev was pointing to Krishna. Right, the Pandavas are sitting there. And he's saying, Esha hi Bhagavan Sakshat. So just made it very sweet, a visualization of how Bhishma Dev was talking to the Pandavas and saying that this is your intimate friend, him. He's the one who is the controller. He is Sakshat Bhagavan. just that sweetness, the aspect of the use of word Esha. Anyway.
Okay, can you put the mic back? Or somebody? We can have an assembly line or a handoff or something like a relay. All right, give it to Mukunda then. Give it to Mukunda.
Yeah, actually, this Leela is so important. So in the Krishna Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami has mentioned exactly why the whole Leela takes place. So he says, Itam Jaya Jayo Sanakari Shap Vyajema. So the word Vyajema means on the pretense. On the pretense of a curse, Kevalam Bhagavan Leelarato. To perform Bhagavan's Leela, this took place. Then he quotes from Padma Purana. Padma Uttakande Gajanusrena Cha Vinodaya Swabhakta Chittakarsha Yuda Adi Krida. So the whole Leela took place in order for Bhagavan to taste Vir Ras. Because Ras cannot be tasted without it's called a lamban, means there has to be an object of the Ras and a subject of the love that creates the Ras. So for instance, Rupa Goswami described that when Krishna was fighting with Charan and Mustika, he did not taste any Ras. But when he fought with Jai and Vijay and those three birds, he tasted Veera Ras. You understand? So this Leela was meant exclusively, Kevalam means exclusively for that purpose. That's why he did not need to come to save Prahlad. He only appeared in the pillar to prove Satyam Vedantum Nijabritabhashitam, that what Prahlad said was true. But why didn't he show up earlier when Prahlad was poisoned or when the soldiers attacked him? Because Prahlad was completely protected by Harinam, because Harinam's not different from Bhagavan. So who did Nrsingadev show up? Also, did Prahlad ask that I want to see a lion half man? He didn't ask for any of that. Who asked for that? That was Jai and Vijay and Hiranyakashipu as Hiranyakasipu. So the Lord really appeared for this Leela with them. That's why after he kills Hiranyakasipu and he keeps all of the promises, Naka Ankur Upatita Ritsuraruham. First of all, he sat on the throne of Hiranyakasipu. Whenever he would come to the Swarga, Indra would always go, Swagatam Idamasam, please welcome Bhagavan, have a seat. He would never sit on the throne of Indra. But after Hiranyakasipu sat on that throne, he sat on... Huh? No. The doorway, that's the whole thing. It's like doorway, but not inside, outside. But anyway, he sat on the throne of Hiranyakasipu, it's mentioned, And Naku Urupatita Ritsaroruham, Saroruham means like a lotus. So he held up Hiranyakasipu's heart like a lotus. He took his entrails and made a garland. The first time I saw this picture was in Brooklyn in Henry Street. And, you know, I thought the Brooklyn Temple was very beautiful, Radha Govinda was very beautiful. Then I saw that picture, I was like, what kind of thing is like, what kind of thing is this? But actually that is the most beautiful, emblematic symbol of love between the devotee and Bhagavan. He actually glorified that Hiranyakasipu, Name Bhakta Pranashati, my devotees' praying can never perish. Because the description of love is Savatta Donk Saraitam, Yad Api Donk Sakarane. Love can never be broken. Yad Bhava Bandhano Yuno Prem Parikirtita. That love becomes stronger even when a cause arises for it to break. So the love between Jai and Vijay is what's on display here. And it's to teach us how much prem is there between Bhagavan and his devotee. That's why I mentioned you'll first see prem here, then you can understand something of the prem of Radha and Krishna. But first prem will be seen here, how much the Lord loves his devotees.
So that's all in Krishna
Sandarbha quotes this verse.
Krishna
then he quotes
Sandarbha.
Padma Puran to prove that the purpose was for Yuddha Adi Krida.
Okay, so one thing is I want to ask that question about he didn't experience very ras with Charan
And Charan and Mustika.
Why is it?
Because Charan and Mustika had pratikul bhav. It means they were under the order of Kamsa to kill Krishna.
Wait, they also had a particular bhav, but previously people said that it would be a religion.
Actually, Jai and Vijay, not the bhav, because bhav is their prem, and the prem can't be broken. So that's why he says sap vyajema. The sap, the curse was vyajema, it was a pretense, because prem can't be broken.
That's Sarvata Dhamsohita, that verse is quoting.
Yes.
That verse is not applicable in Chandra Mustika. Because they
No, not in Charan Mustika, in Jai and
They never
Vijay.
had a bhav.
They never had a bhav, that's what I'm saying.
So Hiranyakasipu, Jai Vijay had a bhav.
Had a bhav, that's what I'm saying.
So that's in this lila is exhibiting.
Exactly.
From that angle,
But for Charan and Mustika, it's not there because they have a pratikul bhav, means they had animosity towards Krishna. But Krishna was smiling when he was fighting with them because he's Atmaram. You understand? But there was no Ras because Ras requires an alamban. It means it has to have somebody who has a bhav, like you're saying, a sthai bhav, and then he's the object of that sthai bhav. Like Rupa Goswami saying, sthai bhav utrasa prokta Sri Krishna Vishayini Rati. So, but Charan Mustika had no particular bhav towards Krishna. So that's why no Ras is tasted there. But he wants to taste Ras, so that's why that verse says, Vinodaya, so bhakti chitta karsha. He attracted the hearts of his devotees, Vinodaya, to taste the pleasure, Yuddha Adi Krida, of the pastime of fighting.
Okay, anyone else need a mic?
With who?
That clock stopped, so I thought it was 8:45, but actually it's way late.
Next time,
Same
tomorrow.
thing with Ravin, same thing. Sishupal and Dantavakar, except that it's not really fighting, but the insults, everything. Same thing.
So there is Bob there with those guys, you said?
Yes, all three birds.
Because they're the same person, people.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
In Bhav, but in Bhav, there's possibility that there could be the overcoming of a previously committed aparad. So in the Leela of Jad Bharat, this is proven. The lack of a sadhu sangha and the fact he didn't commit the aparad, but acharyas have given commentary, it's possible by the influence of a previously committed aparad or by being overcome like Bharat Maharaj was overcome by Satvik Doy. When he saw the deer jump across in the foreign came, he felt all compassion. But then he lost his bhajan due to that Satvik Doy. Because
what is Doy?
Doy means more Doy,
compassion.
mercy, compassion.
Yes, yes.
So, but that compassion was in Sattva Gun. You understand? So now his bhajan came in the mode of sattva gun. You understand? And sattva gun has this quality.
Instead of nirgun,
Instead of being
it
nirgun.
came down into a
Therefore, when that fawn would touch him, oh, he's giving up his bhajan. Oh, you okay? You there? And where's that fawn? I have to feed, and so like that. So, but it was to teach the lesson that we have to complete completely in doing bhajan. It has to be in avesh, means absorption. Understand? So his bhajan became disturbed by that, and also was mentioned because there was no sadhu sangha. He was by himself. You understand? Yeah. Same with Narad. Narada, when he was becoming perfect, he had attachment to Vanvas.
That was like in his previous, before he became Narad, right?
Before he became Narad. That son of a maidservant is actually expansion of Nitya Siddhanara. Krishna Chakravarti Thakur's tells us. But he's demonstrating how to become perfect.
Yes.
So when he was becoming perfect, he had attachment to Vanvas. So Bhagavan gave him a spurti. So then he said, oh, I want to see again. He said, no,